Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Robert's train set, and as you saw, the title of this is the best laid plans of mice and men. Well, I don't know what the mice have got to do with it, but men certainly have. So I suppose I better go on to the technically the most serious. I've had really it's just like a red mark on the side of my face for quite a long time, years. Anyway, the medics have decided they don't like the look of it, and they want to cut it out. So I've got to have an appointment to have this cut out and stitched up. And obviously it will be checked whether it's the big C, which hopefully it's not. And if it is, as long as it's not spread. So we'll see. So I'm awaiting an appointment. But I must admit, so far it's been very efficient. You know, we hear all the time about the National Health Service, huge queues and long waits and whatever. I mean, this has been sorted out in the last, I don't know, couple of weeks almost, you know, to see when the appointment is to actually have the operation, but we'll see. So I'll keep you informed on it, but I'm hoping I'll still be here. The other thing is, the computer that I've done all my videos on and run the train set here in the conservatory, obviously not up in the loft because I've got another one for that. It's been giving a lot of trouble in the last couple of weeks, which you can overcome a bit, but I'm just getting a bit fed up with, you know, waiting for it to start up and all that. So I've decided to replace it. Went down to my local PC. It's not really a shop, it's they're in an office, but they're really good, you know, and well priced, shall we say. So I'm waiting a new. It's not going to be a new one, it's going to be a pre-owned, but they're going to take the hard disk, which was new in that, and is solid state, and put it in the new one. So basically it should all work the same as in the one I've got now. So we'll get that sorted. But primarily this video is about this, as you saw at the end of the last one. I've got my tea. Oh, lovely. And as you might notice, there's nothing in it. I've also got some of this as well, which I thought might be prudent to buy at the same time. And I have mentioned this before, but what I hoped to do was to make this, but to skew the tunnel at an angle, so that it could go across the track where the points are, but obviously with it skewing, you know, the trains will go through. Because of the way this has been designed and made, that's not going to work. It would actually be easier, I think, just to make a complete scratch built bridge. Now, I could do that and then use the papers in this to do that and the other papers, but as I've bought it, I think I would like to use it, you know. So it's sitting actually over there. I've been head scratching to think, what can I do with this bridge that I can't do as I wanted to. So that's the plans that don't quite work, do you? I've had this quite a long time. I should have opened it and had a look, you know, but whatever. So I'm going to show you what I came up with. I've probably not shown an awful lot of the build because, you know, Metcalfe kits have been built infinitum, haven't they? But I'll show you my thoughts about it, shall we say, okay? And hopefully the finished product eventually. Cheers everybody, cheers. So these are the instructions for making this kit, and as you can see, it's not quite what I thought it would be. And if I show you this bit as it actually is, which is this bit, none of this is glued yet, that's why I got the masking tape. But they're basically, that's a single track road or rail bed, and you basically get two of these to make up a double. So my thoughts when I first got this is that this would be double the width in the pack, and you cut it down, you know, there'd be maybe a line down that you could cut to make a single one. So that isn't going to work, and to actually engineer this so that these are sloping, I'm almost going to basically destroy this, and it seems a shame not to use that. It's been, you know, well thought out and well designed really. So I'm going to take you over to the layout and show you what I've come up with. And at one stage I was thinking of just showing you this and then getting your ideas, but I think there's very limited stuff you can do with this besides what I've come up with, short of completely either rebuilding something new or, you know, completely cutting this apart and just using bits of it, which I don't really want to do. So these are all the components that came out of the packaging, and it's to be honest, it doesn't look too difficult really. It doesn't have all the very tiny bits that some of the buildings have, and this is what made up that little bit I showed you. Pretty straightforward. So this is if you're only using a single one, which is fine. But this is for the double one. Now if it had all been like this and sort of double width, then I might have been able to do what I wanted to do. But there we are, it is what it is. So I did try this to see if it would work, and it wouldn't go anywhere near where I wanted it to go. So you can see how far off it is here, and there's the Mark III carriage. And look how close it is there. So I might just need a little bit of tweaking when I do it, we'll see. Yeah, I think, you know, this is doable, so we'll give it a go. So here's the bit I've just shown you in position, and I've sort of positioned this to allow even a big Mark III coach go through here, and it's quite tight, I must admit, even with this. So I'm going to have a single track, which is what I always decided on, not a roadway. I'm going to have some track, and the bit here is the side wings that you make up. So as you can see, if I just go down a little bit, they almost reach the edge. That'll do me. I'll cut that back, hopefully, and that'll be the end, and maybe just put a bit of board on the end or something, a bit of card, and paint it the blue. Because I can't do much else with this, can I? So what have I come up with? Let's widen the shot. So I've basically got two bridges here, haven't I, that go side by side. So I'm going to use them as that, and I'm going to put the one here and then the one over the back, and then make up a bit of added structure to sort of fill this gap up. Now the problem with that is that if I'm using the two halves as a separate bridge, I'm only going to have one of these for each bit, because I only supply two, because usually that's all you do, isn't it? Now it's possible I could probably scan this and print it out again, whether that's legal or not I don't know. But what I've decided perhaps to do, because this bridge, bearing in mind it's got parapets and that on there, is not very high, I think what I'm going to do is, and I've changed the whole outlook on doing it, I'm going to have a structure up here to it can either be sky, or I might be able to get a photograph from a local bridge to show tracks running that way. So I might well do that, not sure. And although I was originally going to run my back scene of the factory units right through here, I think I'm going to stop it at that point. And then I would do something completely different in this area. I still want to scenic it, I still want it to look nice, but I'm going to split the two, I think. So that's where I am. So really, it's now just a case of getting on and building it, to be honest. Now what you can see is, that was my original idea for the line of the bridge, and that just does not work. You just cannot get hardly anything through. So let's move just over to the back here, and I'll just explain what I'm doing there, shall I? So this is a little bit of track that will bend, albeit it's very strong, but hopefully I can do that. But as you can see, hopefully, the tracks that I ran through here and I glued down now end up there. So I'm going to cut this one off, and it'll probably finish about where that buffer stop is. And interestingly, the other day I did stick a bit of track onto this bit of board, and as you can see, I've painted the track in, or rather the base in my paint, and I've sandpapered the underside of the track like I've done with all this. And this idea was to test how strong it is, but I'm going to use that for maybe trying a bit of ballast in, to see how I get on, because I'm going to have to rip that bit off. So I'll film me trying to get that off and see how well it does. And then here I thought, I've got a tunnel, haven't I? Why not use it and just extend the track a little bit further into the fiddle yard, which could then be locos coming from the shed here and go into another area, or even they go into carriage sidings or something like that. Now it's a bit weird, I know, going through the thing, but you know, tracks go through signal boxes, don't they? Or under them. Why not through an engine shed? Makes sense to me. So having cut through the track, and hopefully and that's still a little bit warm from when I did it, and that's quite a while ago. I'm just going to try and use my my letter opener again to see if I can just prise this up. Now, when I did the original bit that wasn't, it was just onto the bare board, it wasn't too difficult, but this is coming up. You can see it's coming, but in bits. There we are. Made a start, and it's just a case of, ooh, yes. Now that is well stuck. I've got to say that, in fact, I'm not even sure it's not pulling the first layer of board off. Let's have a look. Right, I think I need something a little bit stiffer now to get that off. So let's try a screwdriver and see how we do. There we are. Yes, there we are. Look, that's actually in the one I did before. That the track came off completely clean, didn't it? There wasn't any glue or anything on it, and it came off. But look at that. That's really worked well, isn't it? So you can hardly feel that. It's so thin, it's crazy. So there we are. That allows my thing. Now you notice I've done some blue marker pen round where my objects are supposed to go, and I think if I go back now, you can see how much how far out I am to my original line I wanted. But the good news is that I can actually, I've got the manor here, and I've actually got 3 carriages behind it, and where it is now, it's almost hidden. That it, you know, you could get it coming through the back scene, or rather the divide, and coming onto the layout. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. Whereas before, you can see where the line is. You would have had the funnel sticking out. So well worth it. What I need to do now is I want to join some rail on here. Now this is all, as you can see, it's got the sleepers there, and it will not allow my fish plates to go under and connect. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can use the Dremel just to cut underneath, or if I can't do it with that, I might do it with a junior axle, just the blade. See how we go. Won't film it, but I'll come back to you. So having moved ahead, and yes, the Dremel did in fact manage to just cut the sleeper away so that the fish plates will go under. So I've done that. Now I've had to use 2 bits of track here because I've actually got nothing left that will bend, and as you can see I have had to bend it to try and give a bit of clearance here. The back seam will obviously be right on this, but I don't think that's a problem. So if I bring in one of my cross-country coaches, and there we are, and if you notice it just about is long enough for one of those, which should mean it would be long enough for a loco. And if I bring through my little 040, which is quite a wide loco, as you can see we get clearance. Now whether it will be like that when it's moving and wobbling about, we'll have to see, but yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm going to go with this, and it just gives you an extra little bit of storage, doesn't it, as well. So what I'm going to do now is take all the pins out. I'm going to paint this out because this is now no longer needed, is it? And I'll then stick this down. So when I said I'd stuck all my track down, I was lying. I'm not. I've got to do this bit now. But I think I'm just going to paint this out, and then I shall give that a rub with some glass paper like I have. Stick it down with just some little weights on it, not books, and then I shall use the acrylic paint just to do the sleepers like I did with the one with the power to it, which is here. So we're getting there, we're getting there. So come back to you later, quite a bit later possibly. So as you can see, I've painted out the bits we don't want, and I've glued the track down, and I've used the old tinned fruit or whatever to weigh it down, which a lot of people use, and it works. So there it is across. I've got some track that I can make it up, and we'll see how it goes. I'll just have a little chat with you now. So as you can see, I've had to make some decisions, rightly or wrongly. I still like your comments. You know, do you think this is worth doing? Now, bearing in mind, I'm going to start doing this, so it might well be a bit late. But yeah, I'd still like to see and hear what you think. So really, it's now time to just go away and start building this and doing the bits of extra that I need to do and seeing how it's going to work, and then sorting really out what I intend to do with the back scene, and seeing if I can go and get this picture, because I would like to do that. I mean, when you look at it, you'll see the lines. Now, whether it'll actually work in practice, I don't know. But my thought of running this into the back scene, because I couldn't get a very steep angle on it, it sort of poo-pooed it a bit, I think. Yeah, it's a rethink, but then it's quite nice. And that's why I like just doing it on the hoof, you know, planning everything as I go along. I'm a bit like that. If I had it all, you spend a lot of time planning these out, and then you really got to do it. I mean, yes, you can amend it. I mean, you know, Chadwick Model Railways have amended theirs a bit with suggestions, so it does work, and that's why YouTube's so good. You know, it gets you out to a big, wide audience, doesn't it? Him a little bit more than me, but there we are. Can't do much about that. So you might notice I've got some cream on here to try and sort of, it's not going to put it away, but it does actually dull it down a bit. So I think it's worth it until I get the thing. So hopefully when I come back to you, I'll have maybe an appointment and I know where I am with that, and we'll have this sort of, if not completely done, you know, a bit more on than it is at the moment. Okay, everybody? So thank you very much for watching. I'm still continuing to get new subscribers, and I thank you very much if you are a new one, and please look back at what I've done before. It's not all just this, and we'll see how we go. Cheers everybody, cheers.